Greetings, Integrated 2 students, and welcome to the final unit of Integrated 2. I can also say officially, to at least most of you, welcome future Integrated 3 students. Integrated 3 is an exciting time. It's the final math class that I teach that's taught at Oxla. After that, if you want to keep taking math, you go over to CCC, maybe take independent math in Plato or some other arena. But Integrated 3 is the final math class at Oxla. And that means that it's the final chance I get to be your teacher. Now, that it gives me bittersweet feelings, but also it means that I want to make sure you're prepared for that in the fall. In the fall, you're going to have a lot to think about. There's going to be a lot of things at the same time. Junior, senior year is exciting, but it's overwhelming at times. So to help your future self, I want to make sure that you get to see the first month of Integrated 3 during the last month of Integrated 2. It serves as this great bridge between years of math. And so this lesson will in fact be the first lesson of Integrated 3 called Graphing Linear Inequalities in One Variable. So to your future self, somewhere in your brain, think, oh yeah, that's what Dylan was talking about way back a few months ago. I remember now. Now, these videos I hope have been extremely helpful. It's the first time in 9 years I've been able to do them. Before these videos, there were just this notes and PowerPoint link right here. And this is one of the few lessons that I'm going to suggest that you click on this. And you'll notice that it works because I went through and I made sure to update all the links. This contains lots of different things, but I'm just going to focus on a few slides here. Number one is some review on what are inequality symbols, the four symbols you see on the screen right now. There is a greater than sign with the little, some people call this the alligators. You learned this in elementary school. So you got an alligator pointing one way, an alligator pointing the other way. If the line is underneath this alligator's mouth, this stands for greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to. And notice the less than and less than or equal to are the same direction. Same thing with the greater than and the greater than or equal to. They're pointing in the same direction. So that's helpful, but really the most helpful is right here. And this is so helpful that I'm going to do something I haven't done so far. And I'm just going to drag this out to join our Desmos calculator here as the, let's make this a little larger, as the helpful notes for completing my assignment. All right. And let's see what our notes are. So if I have greater than, -1 is the number for each of these four. Notice how I have a symbol of a circle at -1, and then the direction of the shading in red matches the direction of this mark. So greater than shades to the right, less than, this points left, so my blue shading points left. And then if it's a line underneath, then that means equal to, and so it's going to be the same spot, but our circle now is going to be filled in. So notice circles are filled in down here, and they're not filled in up here. So let's practice using those right away. So hit attempt quiz now. You're going to stare at number one, and we're simply just going to use these notes I pulled up on the right to just match my graph with the correct equation. We're going to write inequalities, and each inequality is going to start with an X, so type X on your keyboard. And then you're going to need to choose the correct inequality. So I can look over here. Now notice this is lucky because it's in red and it matches the color. All of these are going to be in red, so don't match just by color. But this one is coincidentally the right color. It's going to the right with an open circle, so that's greater than. The greater than symbol is if you hold Shift and then hit the key that has the period on the bottom right-hand corner of your keyboard. You should see the greater than sign point out. And then this is where you need to use not my number on the screen, but your number. Look below your circle. Whatever number is there, like I've got -4, that's what I type in. If you have a different number, like 7, type in 7. If you get it right, you should see the wonderful green message, and you can move on to number 2, where we now have, again, X first always, but we have a separate, different direction. In this case, it's going to the left. And so I look, oh, it's not red, but the one shading to the left is a less than symbol. So Shift less than, that's where the comma is. And then again, what number is underneath your circle? For me, it's 1. If you have 1, congratulations, we have the same number. If not, don't use my number, use yours. Incredible. And now we get the ones that confuse people because there is no greater than or equal to or less than or equal to symbol on your keyboard. Now there is like especially a Google Chrome, there's a Chrome shortcut, which is like holding down like option or function and hitting one of these. Like for a Mac. For a Mac, I don't know. I guess I could look up settings. For now, let me just teach you where it is on this screen. So hit X, and then look right here. So you can see where it just lit up. We have our division sign, and then there's this little arrow. Not the big arrow that I have on my screen, but a tiny little right arrow. If you click on that, you will see the following symbols pop up. A multiplication symbol, a division symbol, and also our less than or equal to and our greater than or equal to symbols. Make sure you know where these are because you'll need them for the rest of the assignment. When you get them, choose the right one. This one is the right one because it's pointing right, like our shading's pointing to the right, and then I have one. So don't forget where those are. If you want to Google shortcuts on your Chromebooks to type in the symbol on your keyboard, go for that. If not, just remember they are also digital buttons you can press in our assignment. And again, those buttons are to the right of our division sign. This one's now going left, so I type the one on the left side, -4. All right. That is halfway done with our assignment now. Yay! Number 5. Now we're going to combine algebra, or as you know I love to say, SADME, with our inequality. So if you don't have pencil, paper, which hopefully you've been in the habit of just having that available in case you need it now, go grab that. You're going to want to write these down. This is very much just like an algebra problem where this is an equal sign. If this weird inequality confuses you, like I know it used to confuse me when I was a student, just ignore it, treat it like an equal sign, and then at the end we'll apply it. Okay? We're going to solve for x, so we need to use our EMO acronym that we love so much, SADME. We're going to subtract it at first, then divide and multiply. We're going to have no exponents to worry about today, so it's just SADM. And when you do our opposite to both sides, just like we have two kids, going to treat them equally, we are adding and subtracting. So let's see, we're adding 7. The opposite of adding 7 is subtracting 7. That gives me 5x is equal to 15. Divide by 5. And I get x is 3. But notice, it's not equals. Once again, now I can return to my inequality. X is less than 3. And what does x is less than 3 look like? Well, let's go over here. That should be an open circle shaded left at 3. So it's going to look like this first one for me, but instead of going right, I'm going to go left. Again, hit pause if you need this work to compare your own as you're writing. When you're done like me, then you could follow along as I look for the correct graph. And it looks like, bam, right here. This one has 3 open circle shaded left. It's got to be that one. Awesome. All right, then we're going to do another one. Right here. 5x minus 6 is greater than negative 16. SADME, add and subtract first. So I got 5x is greater than negative 16 plus 6 is negative 10. Divided by 5. X is greater than negative 2. Why did I divide? Well, remember again the trick. A number and a letter that are stuck together are like two rabbits stuck together. They multiply. We've got to do the opposite and divide. X is greater than negative 2, so now I'm looking for negative 2, open circle shaded to the right. Oh, it's this one right here. Once again, pause it if you need to write this down. If not, follow along as I match up the graph. Negative 2 going right. And boom. We're 6 for 6. Number 7. We're just going to straight up solve this inequality and type it in. So same thing. Clear more space on the paper that you're writing down on. Parents, hopefully they're making sure your students are writing this down on paper. If not, maybe you've got some mental math wizards out there that can just do this in their head. Even me, the mental math wizard that I am, I still like to write these out. There's something therapeutic about writing it out step by step too that is It's really enjoyable. All right, so I now get x is greater than 10. So I can just simply type that in. Notice I don't even have an equal to equation, so I don't have to worry about pressing the little arrow on this one next to the division sign. I can just type it in with my keyboard. Again, I'll give you a second. Pause this if you need to. X is greater than 10. All right, that sets up our final problem. One that stumps even the best of students because they forgot or do not know yet the power of the last rule of inequality solving, which is, for the first time, we have a pesky negative sign next to our x. So here's the rule with negatives. If you have a negative that's multiplying, or in this case being divided by, when you move it to the other side, you must flip the direction of your inequality. And let me see, I think another one of these helpful slides goes over that. So, yeah, it's like this one. You see, we have our normal equation. We subtract 7 from both sides, then we divide by -4. But when we divide by -4, look at this middle sign, how it goes from a less than or equal to, and then it flips over and becomes a greater than equal to. That happens every time we divide or we multiply by a negative, as it says in this helpful green box. All right, so now that we've reviewed that, let's do it in this problem. Okay. So I'm going to write this out. X divided by -5 minus 7 greater than or equal to 2. Sad me, I got to subtract and add first. That leaves me with x over -5 greater than or equal to 2 plus 7 is 9. Now I've got the big step here where I am multiplying by -5. And because I am multiplying by -5, it cancels on the left. What we get stuck with is just x, but then our middle symbol flips, and instead of being greater than or equal to, it is a less than or equal to symbol. And 9 times -5, you can use your calculator if you don't know this kind of math in your head, is -45. So when I type this in, I'm going to type in x is less than or equal to -45. Pause it if you need to keep the screen. 3, 2, 1, closing it out. X is... Again, I pressed the little arrow next to the division key. There's a lot of other arrows you could play around with, but right now just focus on the one we need. -45. Drum roll, please. Da-da-da-da-da. Bam! 848. Got it. Okay. When you see 100%, hopefully on your screen, you will have not only got through the first assignment in this last unit of Integrated 2, you will have proved to yourself that sometime in the future, if and when you take Integrated 3 with me, you got this, and this first assignment is going to be a piece of cake. All right. As always, I hope this video finds you safe, happy, healthy, well, content, sleeping well, eating well, everything. Just finds you well. This has been Dylan's class away from class. Take care and best wishes with your day and week.